And welcome back to Sports Weekly on IEMG. We've got more soccer highlights in this segment. Girls soccer, Indian Springs taking on San Gorgonio. And remember, this might be a league game in the future as Indian Springs will be joining the Arrowhead Athletic Conference, moving from the Mountain Valley League. So let's take you out to San G. Angie Garcia and the Spartans battling the Coyotes in this one. San Gorgonio led 1-0, looking for more. The shot by Leilani Lopez turned away there. Then later, it's going to be Daisy Serrano putting this ball on frame, and it nearly sneaks past the keeper. But a good heads-up play by Indian Springs to clear that ball to the side. Indian Springs now on the attack, colliding with San G goalie Adelina Sanchez. Both players shaken up a little bit, but a nice play there by Sanchez. Later, Darlin Garcia with the great ball crossing in front of the goal, but nobody on the other end for the Spartans, but a good effort there by Garcia. Then it's Serrano again, almost puts this shot in the upper 90 corner, but turned away. Corner kick now for San Gorgonio. Lopez takes it, and freshman Vanity Soto heads it in. That is a goal. Spartans lead by a score of 2-0. Head coach Henry Aguilar and San G with a 2-goal lead at the break, but they were not done yet. Second half, the Spartans looking to add to their lead. Soto, the deep shot, it gets past the keeper, bounces off the post, and somehow does not go in for a goal. But no doubt about this one coming up. Lopez chips it over the keeper's head, in for the score. San Gorgonio wins by a final score of 5-0. The Spartans improved to 4-0 on the season. In fact, they've outscored their opponents 14-0. League play starts, though, this week for San Gorgonio. It's a couple tough ones as they will take on Bloomington and Kaiser this week. So some good ones coming up for the San Gorgonio girls soccer team. Now let's go to boys soccer. Indian Springs taking on Colton. Take you out to ISHS, the Coyotes and Yellow Jackets. It would be Indian Springs finally breaking through in the second half, getting a couple goals, although that corner kick turned away, but a good effort there by Indian Springs. And Indian Springs defense would come away with the clean sheet for head coach Patrick Kaler. And Indian Springs doing a good job holding off Colton. They had enough attempts. They put a couple in the back of the net, and 2-0 would be your final score in this one as Indian Springs literally holds on to the win against Colton. And then after the match, we had a chance to catch up with Coach Kaler, talk about this win by his team and what it means now going forward for the Coyotes, kind of setting the tone and now for the rest of the season as they look to, last year they were a Division IV playoff team looking to get back into the postseason and, of course, challenge for a Mountain Valley League title. So here is Coach Kaler and the Coyotes on Sports Weekly.
Well, in the first couple games that we had, we weren't taking shots, so I liked the fact that my offense was now taking some shots. We had 3 or 4 shots that should have gone in the first half, and we finally broke loose, changing some strategy around, and broke open the game.
Let's go in this booth!
And then what are some areas that you feel like, hey, we can still get better?
On the defensive end of the ball, my midfielders think they're strikers, so they need to work harder on the defensive end of the ball. My defense is solid, but I need my midfielders to be a little tougher on the ball.
What do you think of your goalkeeping tonight?
This guy came out of nowhere, and he is such a blessing in disguise. Ivan is just, he had like 8 saves 2 days ago, and a good 4 or 5 tonight. That kid is the real deal. I'm glad he switched from being a midfielder to a goalkeeper.
Whose idea was that?
Oh, no, he hadn't played in years. Oh. This is his first time playing in years, and I'm so glad he decided to come back and help us out this year.
All right, Coach, going forward, what gets you excited about this team? Like, what keeps you optimistic about how far this team might be able to go this season?
Well, it's been tough after 2 really good years and solid talent who's all now moved on. I always enjoy the challenge of building up a team, getting the chemistry together, and then seeing where we can go with that. As always, it's a competitive league, and we have these tests because we're going in the conference next year. So we have to see kind of where we stand with these guys in the conference. So that's the challenge, and then I'm always thinking about building. I've got 3 programs now. We're always trying to build players up to get ready for the next level in varsity, then JV. So there you go.
All right, good stuff there. Now we're going to go from soccer now to boys basketball. Indian Springs loading up again for another big season. They were taking on a tough Patriot team, the Warriors, in town at the Coyotes Den. Highlights from this one: Coach Cheney, Coach Taylor, and the Coyotes falling behind early against Patriot. The Warriors came ready to play. That's Joseph Kotsiek drives in to there. He had a strong start in this game for Patriot. We'll talk more about that in a second. Indian Springs, though, answers. Demetrius Ellington gets the runner there for Indian Springs. Then Kotsiek hits the 3 for the Warriors. The Patriots' Kotsiek, he came out on a strong start for the Warriors in this one. Here he is again. He scored the Warriors' first 7 points in this game and helped Patriot grab the early lead. Indian Springs would respond. Tyrell Thornton drives inside, and the Coyotes were down by 1 at that point. Then Patriots' Javier Esparza drives in, lays it in. Patriot up 11-6 in the first quarter. And a little bit later, off the miss, good follow-up by Indian Springs big man Carell Lister. Nice spin move to his left, and it is good. Indian Springs' Chase Cheney hits the 3. But after 1 quarter of play, Patriot held the lead on Indian Springs by a score of 13-11. So now we move to the second quarter. It's going to be the Coyotes. Ellington hits the 3 ball. Indian Springs takes their first lead of the game. Then Coyotes in transition. 2 more for Ellington. He had a nice game. Indian Springs' Joseph Salas takes the pass, sweeps across the key for the bucket. Indian Springs up by 1. Later in the second quarter, Christian Smith, the offensive rebound, battling on the boards and gets the putback. Then it will be Indian Springs' Ellington coming up with the basket and the foul as Indian Springs wins this one. They battle back against Patriot, 54-39 the final. The Coyotes improve to 5-2 on the season. They got some good games coming up this week, including a tough one against the Redlands Terriers. Big win for Indian Springs against Patriot. And when we come back here on Sports Weekly on IEMG, more on the Cajon boys cross country team. That's next on Sports Weekly on IEMG.